section, just want to demonstrate what I mean with a live example. So we run a variety of our own web properties, like as you can see here. And what we found is that when you talk about a subject matter more comprehensively, say using a lot of the entities or concepts that Google could care about, what you're doing is A, improving, right, your content's ability to see it in the search results, and B, expanding the range of searches. So as an example, I have a piece of content that I published here talking about pillow sizes. If we were to take this piece of content and run this through Google's own natural language processing, again, this is how Google infers knowledge graph associations, then you'll see here, Google will come back and say, okay, given this piece of content, I think it's talking about concepts like, let's see here. So you can see here, right? Google says, okay, the entities that has come back are all of these different concepts that you see in the different colors or categorized down here. So we would have found that something like pillowcase shows up as a relevant entity discussed within other top ranking pieces talking about pillow sizes. And you can see here, so we mention it within our piece of content once. The same thing could be said for euro, also mentioned by a lot of the other top ranking pieces of content. So we mention it within our piece of content. Now, when we look at the performance, right, of this piece of content, you'll see here what this piece of content is now capable of doing is, even though it's not really doing that well for the head term, pillow sizes, we're able to pull in about 20 times total number of head term impressions and way more clicks than just the head term itself. If we were to then look at the range of queries that this piece of content is able to capture, you'll see here, right, concepts like pillowcase will be serviced through this piece of content. So simply then, by talking about all of the different associations that the topic could discuss, you can see here you're able to then capture a much wider range of searches that the user could have surrounding the different subtopics that you're talking about. When Google sees that your piece of content is doing a good job answering all of these different side questions or long tail questions, it improves Google's trust that your piece of content would do a good job then answering the needs of the searcher. So that's kind of how Google then is taking into consideration, right, content quality. It's really looking at the associations and saying, okay, if you want to talk about, things to do in Istanbul, you got to mention Hagia Sophia, you got to mention Blue Mosque, because those are very closely related to the things that you would want to do in Istanbul. And when a piece of content does not talk about those, then Google can be fairly confident that the piece of content must not be very high quality.